Tonight on DC News Now, Americans scrambling to get back home while being stranded in the Middle East.
I was very concerned. At the last moment, I was thinking, I don't know what's going to happen.
How the State Department is helping.
A man accused of a creepy crime of touching women on the metro. We hear from a woman who took out a protective order to keep him away as investigators look for more potential victims.
As we look ahead towards your Wednesday, still a few rain showers around. Watch out for some patchy fog, but we are tracking a warm-up in the forecast. The latest on that coming up.
What we can't ever know is the lives that she might have touched.
A man sentenced for killing an American University professor 15 years since the murder. How the victim's family is hoping she'll be remembered.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 10 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran. We are continuing to follow the war in Iran. The U.S.-Israeli attacks have left thousands of Americans stranded in the Middle East, as Tehran has launched counterstrikes hitting U.S. bases in the region, along with the American embassy in Saudi Arabia. Now, the State Department has urged all travelers to leave more than a dozen countries, but also did not plan any evacuation flights.
And commercial airlines have canceled 18,000 trips since Saturday. They include 3,800 flights today alone out of Jordan, Bahrain, Iraq, Qatar, and Kuwait, with travelers continuing to scramble to find any way possible to get home. DC News Now's Ben Dennis live at Dulles Airport tonight.
And Ben, some families fortunate enough to get on a flight home. What was their journey like for them?
Well, they were certainly happy to be back in the States. I caught up with folks as soon as they got through customs and off of that plane in Saudi Arabia, one of the countries that the State Department had asked American citizens to leave and get back here as soon as possible. But it also comes at a time when communication from the State Department is somewhat conflicting.
Everyone was in a little of a panic.
Inside Dulles International Airport, D.C. area residents and folks making connecting flights are happy to be back in the U.S. after the State Department told Americans to leave more than a dozen countries in the Middle East.
They said, be careful with that, not go to the consulate.
Abid Ghafouri from Ashburn, Virginia, said WhatsApp alerts that he signed up for from the State Department were helpful.
They were always sending us alert for our security, for our safety.
When you saw the news about the strikes in Iran, did that concern you initially trying to get back to the States?
Yes, I was very concerned. At the last moment, I was thinking, I don't know what's going to happen, but thank God everything went smoothly.
But not everyone had the same anxiety.
I mean, I had my kids with me as well. I would be concerned as well, but I think it was pretty safe over there.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio said this about Americans still not on U.S. soil.
We have identified and continue to identify charter flights, military flight options, and expanded commercial flight options.
But about evacuating flights, we called the number set up for 24/7 updates. We heard this.
If you are calling about the crisis in the Middle East, please press 1. If not, press 2. Please do not rely on the U.S. government for assisted departure or evacuation at this time. There are currently no United States evacuation points.
And about plans for evacuation flights, I asked the State Department to explain what Secretary Marco Rubio had to say and what that automated message had to say. We're still waiting to hear back. Meantime, anybody who is still overseas, here's some good advice, including if you have any loved ones who are over there. Sign up for so-called STEP alerts at step.state.gov. Live at Dulles International, Ben Dennis, back to you.
All right, some disconcerting details there, Ben. Thank you. Now to the Pentagon releasing the names of 4 of the 6 soldiers killed during the war. They were all part of a reserve unit based in Des Moines, Iowa, and they worked in logistics, helping to supply troops with food and equipment. They were all killed Sunday when a drone hit a command center there in Kuwait. We have Sergeant First Class Nicole Armour's husband, who says she was just days from returning home, telling the Associated Press, you don't go to Kuwait thinking something's going to happen. And for her to be one of the first, it hurts. Also killed, Captain Cody Cork, Sergeant First Class Noah Tietjens, as well as Sergeant Declan Cody, his father sharing these photos of him at graduation from the Army Training Center there in Fort Sill. He was posthumously promoted to sergeant.
And many veterans are mourning the loss of those 6 soldiers and say this moment feels hauntingly familiar. For many Iraq and Afghanistan vets, the conflict brings up painful memories of their service in the Middle East. They say putting troops in harm's way should be on everyone's mind.
My mind is with the service members and their families. Families and service members need to feel secure, and they need to have clarity on the mission and that they're going to be taken care of.
Well, that Navy veteran urging Americans to reach out to military families who may need support during this uncertain time. We're helping you stretch your dollar tonight as a stock sell-off hit Wall Street really hard and oil prices are starting to soar.
The U.S. war there in Iran causing so many to worry that our continued involvement there in the Middle East will hurt the economy more than experts originally anticipated. The S&P, Dow, and NASDAQ all tumbling here at the closing bell. Oil prices jumped as Iran targets critical areas that are part of the world's whole oil and natural gas production process. It's likely going to mean that it will cost more to heat our homes. Meanwhile, AAA says the price at the pumps will also be going up 11 cents. It went up already overnight. It's now above $3 a gallon.
And for the latest on the war in Iran, we've got 24/7 updates. Head to our website, dcnewsnow.com, and then search Iran.
All right, we have our chief meteorologist, Jackie Lair, and drizzly, cold, poor visibility out there. Is that going to continue into the morning?
Yeah, we could still be dealing with some of those visibility issues. Some of the wet weather still sticking around, just not quite as widespread as what we had, early this morning, thankfully. And earlier this morning, we had wintry mix. It looks like through the overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, we actually see temperatures warming up, and we're already at least into those lower 40s for much of the area. So only up from what we're out there right now. But seeing still some lingering rain showers, not quite as widespread as earlier. Some of those lighter rain showers across parts of northern Virginia, parts of Fairfax County, even down towards Prince William County. Farther off towards the north of the district, we're seeing still some showers around, say, Montgomery County, and then even up towards Frederick County, Maryland. But it looks like much of Montgomery County now starting to dry things out, as much of that has shifted over towards the Baltimore metro area. Farther south, right around Manassas, dealing with some of that green, even over towards Lake Ridge and Newington as well. But visibility, this has been the main concern, is that low visibility still sticking around, down to about 4 miles in Annapolis, Winchester as well, down about 2 miles in Hagerstown and Martinsburg, at least DC. Now we're up to 6 miles of visibility. Planning out your day tomorrow, patchy fog in the morning, maybe that spot sprinkle, still cloudy by 11 a.m. By the middle of the afternoon, could we see a few more rain showers? Yep, it is possible, but overall cloudy with high temperatures back in the 50s. And eventually we see warmer temperatures through the end of the week. The latest on that coming up.
Jackie, thank you. Just into our newsroom, a road rage incident in Northern Virginia with a man being stabbed and police arresting a woman who now faces multiple charges. Now, investigators say that Alexis Spencer hit a car, then drove off last Friday. This is on Emancipation Highway. The victim followed her in his car, and they both pulled over right near Devonshire Drive. And that's when investigators say Spencer drove into the man's car. They say she then got out of her car, went over to him, and with a knife stabbed his hand. Spencer is now being held without bond, and investigators say that the man was treated there at the scene and will be okay.
All new tonight in Maryland, the man who murdered an American University professor will spend 25 years in prison. Jorge Landeros killed Sue Ann Markham in her Montgomery County home back in 2010, then was on the run in Mexico for a decade. Markham's brother was emotional as he spoke following Landeros' sentencing.
What we can't ever know is the lives that she might have touched, the students she might have inspired, whether to go into accounting or to go into some other field with passion.
Defense attorneys for the 56-year-old maintain his innocence. Landeros has already spent more than 3 years behind bars, and they will count as part of his 25-year sentence.
Now to a really unsettling crime in Maryland. A man is accused of touching women's hair right there on the Metro, and he's facing some serious charges.
Metro Transit police say one victim was on the Silver Line train, and we're now learning the suspect, Brian Bettencourt, was pardoned by President Trump for his involvement in the January 6th Capitol riot. A post on social media shows the 28-year-old holding up his official pardon letter. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg joining us live in Clarendon, where one of these incidents allegedly happened.
And Daniel, there are some serious accusations against this man here. This is beyond stroking women's hair.
That's right, Susan and Chris. In court documents for that January 6th case, prosecutors say that he is a self-professed white supremacist and has a desire to be a lone wolf killer. I talked with a woman who says she just got an anti-stalking order renewed against Bettencourt, and she says she's happy he's being held accountable.
Safety on the metro is top of mind for many people, especially women.
I've had a couple of friends who've had instances of stalking and people trying to come up to them and just feeling really uncomfortable and having to get off the metro and go to a different stop.
This week, videos on X went viral, reportedly showing Brian Bettencourt live streaming himself touching a woman's hair Sunday night around 10 p.m.
It was like a 24-second video, and it's just him sitting behind this like strawberry blonde woman, kind of talking to himself and touching her hair.
Brianne Chapman recently got an extension for an anti-stalking order against Bettencourt, good until 2030, and she's not surprised by what happened.
It's very disturbing because he's been doing really weird, creepy behavior just to me and to my friends for years now, and now it's escalating to random young girls.
Bettencourt pleaded guilty for entering the Capitol on January 6th while he was already on probation for burglary. He was later pardoned with the rest of the January 6th defendants.
Every time he gets away with something, like how he got pardoned by Trump, he thinks he can just do whatever he wants.
Chapman says he's violated the anti-stalking order multiple times. She says he was sent back to jail for making threats at the Wheaton Metro to assault her friend, and he was released 4 months ago. She wants other women to remain vigilant and speak up when something like this happens.
I guess before that video, I felt pretty safe on the Metro in general. I think it's a safe, way to get from here to there, but it does worry me a little bit.
The Maryland Public Defender's Office, which is representing Bettencourt right now, had no comment tonight. We don't know how long it might take to extradite him to Virginia, where that arrest warrant was based out of. We're live in Clarendon. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
In the district, leaders passing 2 measures hoping to increase transparency when federal agents use force while patrolling in the city. This comes as a federal agent patrolling with D.C. police officers shot into the car of Philip Brown, an unarmed black man. Now, Brown is charged with taking off from law enforcement, but the police report did not mention any shots fired. 2 bills passed today are meant to increase transparency. The first, it requires the release of any MPD body-worn camera footage within 5 days when they're on scene with federal agents during a serious use of force incident. The second requires MPD to document the names and badge numbers of federal agents who make arrests while patrolling with D.C. police.
We cannot control everything that the federal government does, but we can demand that there be transparency and accountability for what happens in our communities that's captured with our body-worn cameras.
Council members say the body camera part is retroactive. That means we should expect to see footage of the Brown case if it still exists.